from time to time we are thinking about miracles. Is there a way to gain miracles? Is there any way that we could change our regular basis of this, what is happening to our life, and change it into something that is a miracle instead of these challenges and pain and all these encumbrances that encounter in our life? There is a consciousness called Mehemnutta Ila'a. Mehemnutta Ila'a. This is a consciousness with 100% of certainty. Now, how can we build this certainty in order to gain the miracles? Now, before I answer to these questions, there is a story in Torah which helps us to understand what really happened and how can we really build this consciousness of 100% certainty. Moshe Rabbeinu was asked by the Creator not to send these 12 people, these 12 leaders, to Israel to give the report back. But if you want to do it, the Creator says, do it for yourself. Now that is amazing, because who would say to the Creator no? If the Creator comes to me and he would say, Michael, I think you shouldn't do that, but if you do it for yourself. Now, who from us would do it? Such thing? Nobody. But on the top of that, Moshe didn't agree with the Creator. He sent them anyway. And what is also funny, that Creator didn't give any chance even to talk to Israelites. They could talk with Moshe. Let's talk a little bit. Maybe we shouldn't go. Maybe our consciousness it's so high that there is no really necessary way to go there. And but the Creator just give up and say, okay, don't talk. Now what's so funny about it? It's that he sent it, and then this applies to our life too. How does it apply to our life? It applies in a way that when we have a good day, when we have good circumstances during our day, for example, I drive a car and I don't need to know the way from my office to my house. I don't need to know the way. I even don't need to have any certainty. Do we need certainty? Do I need certainty to go from the house, for example, to my office, or from the office to my house? I don't need any certainty. It's a straightforward way. There is no problem. I don't need that. So if in these circumstances there is, for example, someone on a bike, or there's another driver who shout at me, now this is like 2% of this 100% certainty, 2% which is doubt. And you know what? I ignore that. We usually ignore this. It's not my problem, it's not my fault, I don't have to pay attention to that. If I don't do this, if I don't build this 100% certainty, what will happen next? When I get to the company, maybe on the same day not, but on the following day or the week after, there is a client who would be very dissatisfied, extremely dissatisfied, and he would have an argument even with me about the product or the service or whatever. Now, because our company is huge and has a lot of employees, now we are not really concerned about the business. We know that it flows. It doesn't really bother us. But now the gap between, let's say, this 2%, which was in the first case of doubt, increases to 10%, because the challenge is higher. But I am again not really concerned, because I have certainty in my company. I have certainty because it brings me money, it brings me clients, and I don't really pay attention to it. But the challenge is more tougher than the first one. The first one was only, another driver who was shouting at me, or a guy on a bike, whatever. And I ignore him. So the second challenge is much, much tougher now, because there is an argument with the client who wants money back, or he wants to go to the court, who knows. But I ignored it anyway. The next challenge is going to be even tougher and tougher and tougher. And why is that? It is because we are supposed to collect something from the past. We are supposed to collect the miracle, but we didn't. We didn't want to collect the miracle. It's similar to be on a freeway or motorway, and there is the way just to go aside, and I just don't want to pull it over. I don't want to just pull it over. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. So I go and I have another chance to leave the motorway, but I don't do it. So the next one exit is 100 kilometers. Now, just to take the exit, I didn't take the first one and the second one. It will take a lot of time, money, and energy. And this period, it's our problem in our life, a bigger challenge, I would say. Because I ignored the first one, I ignored the second one, the third one is going to be even tougher. And then we start thinking, what is happening in our life? Because we ignored the first one, we didn't want to, I would say, pay attention to this small fractional challenge that could break my day or the circumstances of my certainty. But because I didn't build 100% certainty, because I allow the doubt to get in and build instead of the doubt is increasing and increasing and increasing. And because there is something I supposed to collect, but I didn't, I have to get it back. I have to make the U-turn, I would say, on the motorway, on the freeway, and get back 100 kilometers to collect. But this can be even many years. We don't want to do that. We want to collect our rewards today, but that's what we do. Because we don't build a certainty. We don't build the certainty 100% which we are supposed to build. And Creator gives us every day this small fractional, I would say, challenges which we don't want to accept, but we are supposed to accept. And there is another story showing us how it works. The prophet, one of the prophet, Elisha, was sent by the Creator. He got a message that there is a woman in the town or in a village and she would feed him. So he went to this village and he saw this woman, and he approached this woman and he asked, please give me some food. And she said, I will tell you what is my plan for today. My plan for today is that I'm going back to my tent. I will make some food. I have some flour and oil. I will make the fire. I made few, I would say, bread. I will eat with my child because the child is with me, and we are going to die. We are going to rest and die. That's my plan. No, it's not very optimistic plan anyway, but he said to her, listen, if you give me the food in the first place and what is rest you will eat, I promise you, you will survive. The flour you will have it and the oil will not finish, will not end. And she said, for some reason, she said, okay, let's have a go. It's tough, it's difficult, because my child is already hungry, but I will do it anyway. So she gave the food in the first turn to the prophet, Elisha. And she survived. Okay, the miracle happened. And after a few years, 4, 5, 10 years later, she was outside with the child and the child died on a field. Now she took this child, went to the Elisha and said, listen, please resurrect this child. Resurrect this child. Now, first of all, there is a couple of questions. The first question is, it's a strange situation because why in the first place, years before, he helped them, or he helped the child in order to, after a few years the child died. It's the same in our life. Sometimes we meet someone who helped us, and then after a certain amount of time, we have a lot of problems with that person. We don't understand the situation. It's so strange, it's so odd. And So the same she could have asked him, but she said, listen, I know you can resurrect. Do you believe? Do you know that I can resurrect? She said, of course. But she only knew that he could have done such thing because she passed the first smaller test. If the child died just like that in the first place, she wouldn't have taken the child to the prophet. She wouldn't have. She would say, that's the life. What can I do? But because she passed the test, the first one with the food, she built the certainty. Mehemnutta ilah, she built the certainty so that she had the strength to pass the second test, which was much tougher than the first one. Only because she passed the first test. And therefore, we have the same situation in our life on a regular basis. To take the advantage of them, to see that in these perfect circumstances which we have, we see the challenge. Don't put this on the side. Don't take it on the side. Accept it. See, do restriction, do something proactive, whatever it's required to pass the test, to accept the test. Why? Because the sooner we accept the test, the smaller the test, the weaker the test, the better for us. Because the reward, the miracles is waiting for us. It was waiting years back. But we didn't want to take it. We didn't want to take it. We didn't want to be bothered by this, what is happening. Therefore, we wait. And there was another challenge, and another challenge, and another challenge. And we have to pass the challenges. And each of these challenges is tougher and tougher and tougher. Because we have to get back and build the certainty which we had in the first place. But we didn't do it. So, in order now to receive everything, what was supposed to get, we need to get back. We need to do the U-turn, I would say. And get back to the past, which we shouldn't have wait. And therefore, why Moses Rabbeinu sent these 12 people? Because they also had so many miracles and so many opportunities. They didn't take advantage, I would say, the inverted comma advantage, but they didn't take everything, they didn't accept everything in this beautiful time they had with the Creator. They didn't trust, I would say, in 100%. They didn't want to accept everything what was happening with them. Therefore, he sent them and says, listen, I am going to give you another chance to get back to the consciousness of Mehemnutta Ila'ah. So go, guys, and bring back certainty with you. If you bring back the certainty and you accept whatever is going to happen to you, then we will have the chance to do the U-turn and pick up all the blessing which we didn't pick it up. We know what happened. They didn't pass the test again and they had to walk for another 40 years. And then the 12 people, the 12 leaders, each of the tribe were sent again by Joshua and Caleb. But they didn't say just to anyone. They were just sent and then pass the test. Do we want to wait 40 years for the miracle? We don't have to, and we don't need to. The only thing we should do it is just to pay attention to the challenges, the small challenges that take place during our time of certainty, and accept them and do what is required. Do the restriction and accept. And then the miracles will happen. The miracles will happen because we are building Mehemnutta Ila'ah, the supernal certainty, 100% certainty which is required, not 99%, not 95%. If there is 95% certainty, we cannot receive the miracle. We need 100%. Therefore, the situations are working in our life just in a strange way, just like that. All the best.